Hello, and welcome to this e-learning program on transporting radioactive materials by ground and air. Radioactive materials are sometimes abbreviated as RAM. This program is presented by ICC, the Compliance Center. In this program, we will cover transportation of radioactives under the current hazardous materials regulations of Title 49 of the Code of Federal Regulations, also known as 49 CFR, and the current I Dangerous Goods regulations. At any time, you may stop the program, or go back to review material you wish to see again. To complete this training, you will need to have access to the current editions of both of these regulations. There will be quiz questions and knowledge check exercises throughout the program. The knowledge check exercises are for practice only, and will not count towards your final grade. Once you obtain an 80% or better on the quiz, a certificate of training will be issued to you, which your employer can then certify. This course has a number of objectives. First, for you to become familiar with the regulations that apply to the transportation of radioactive materials. Second, for you to know your responsibilities under these regulations. And finally, for you to be able to prepare radioactive materials for transport, and to offer them for transport by either ground or air. Our e-learning program will be divided into parts. It is required that you have access to the hazardous materials regulations, and the I Dangerous Goods regulations for reference as you complete this program. Part 1 will introduce us to the regulations involved in the transportation of hazardous materials and dangerous goods. Part 2 will cover identification of radioactive materials. Part 3 will introduce the use of the hazardous materials table, from the hazardous materials regulations. In Part 4, we will discuss packaging requirements. And in Part 5, we will cover the requirements for marking and labeling packages of radioactive materials. In Part 6, we will discuss shipping papers, what type of paperwork is required for shipments of radioactives. Part 7 will cover 3 topics: how to placard radioactive materials in transport, loading requirements and restrictions, and reporting requirements for serious spills. Part 8 will cover the additional requirements for shipping radioactive materials by air, using the rules established by the I Dangerous Goods Regulations, or DGR. Finally, in Part 9, we will do a review of the importance of security during transportation of radioactive materials.